Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah.
A pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back to HJN. And now here on HJN, it's quite clear that at the same time I'm going to be getting some new requests coming in from all over the place, really. Anyone who can tweet a message at me or give out a comment on Instagram or Mastodon or WhatsApp or Storyfire, they could probably give me all sorts of requests left and right. But for this topic that I'm going to be talking about, it is, in fact, faucets, as the title suggests. If you don't look down below, then of course you wouldn't really know. But anyways, what can I say about faucets? Well, I can say there has been a lot of innovations and a lot of standards in regards to how clean water based on taps that come out of various faucet styles is a pretty big necessity at this point, almost a requirement or a law. Because after all, the health department would specifically state that to have great clean drinking water at all costs, a faucet type would be pretty substantial. But of course there are so many styles out there that people could probably put together, and there have been a lot of patents that have been put into place. But what I can say in general about faucets, regardless of the style it is, regardless of the finish, regardless of the material it's composed of, they do, in fact, provide you with many different ways of getting yourself clean water as possible, whether if it is for drinking, or if it is for cooking, or if it is for bathing or showering. In general, there's tons of ways that you can put water to good use. However, there are only so many different types of water sources out there throughout existence that we have here in the country that are, in fact, viable ways of being able to be filtered throughout treatment facilities, and more importantly, before they can possibly go through the pipes, the sinks, and tubs that we generally use. But I guess there are a lot of other big things that I could talk about the faucets. In fact, that, well, I don't really know how to say this, but there is, in fact, a lot of different ways that you could probably put together some of the pretty awful cons about some types of faucets out there. Especially the types that could actually leak out certain materials out there, like rust or occasionally some bacterial or viral related infections, because depending on the fact that they're waterborne or if they're not, then of course you could actually receive a small chance of getting yourself infected with something. And I'd much rather not dive into the nCoV pandemic right now, but it's true. There have been a lot of times where water have been contaminated, even if it's been treated with the water treatment plants that we have throughout this country and even throughout the rest of the world. It does happen from time to time, so let's try and be safe out there if we can. And more importantly, we should probably be able to check our own water supplies if they are indeed contaminated. And well, there are a few ways you can identify dirty water. Sometimes it could be cloudy, sometimes it could be discolored, and occasionally other things start to put into play. But if there's one thing that I won't forget, it's one fact that, well, a little poison had actually gone through the faucet of an LK water dispenser, which is made for filling up bottles. I could have been killed by it. A little bit of poison had been seeping through the pipes and into the water supply that would get sent up through the LK dispenser and then drained out and come into the bottle. Oh, but it does get worse though, because there were a few other times where I have detected some really awful types of water. Like, at one point, I went to go over and get a drink at a water fountain inside of a school. But then the water suddenly turned bright red. Yeah, that is scary. I almost thought it was blood because of, well, it almost tasted like it, but the sort of metal-ish taste, it probably came from, well, the pipes or something in general. That was scary. Not really for me. But you know what, I guess I probably shouldn't go ahead and dive onto such nightmarish things out there like that, because after all, the faucet is responsible for giving us the water we will need to keep ourselves cleaned up and hydrated at all costs. But that's pretty much it that I got to talk about for faucets in general. But If you want to see more go down on my channel, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.